Hey, what's up YouTube? Lightsaber Samurai here, back again for another video, and I am just chilling in my game room, actually updating my game room collection. Realized that I have gotten just under 700 titles in my collection. About 200 of those titles I've never played before. Holy crap. Let's talk about it. Okay, so yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to tackle the dreaded backlog. The bane of almost every gamer and every collector that I know, the bane of our existence. A large stack of games, a large portions of our collection that we've never even played before. So, we are going to tackle all the tough questions. 1, why do you even have a backlog? For 2, how did so many games get in your backlog? 3, what are you doing to alleviate that backlog? And as a fun bonus, in the spirit of alleviating that backlog, I'm going to go over 5 titles that are in my backlog right now. So, without further ado, let's get into question 1. Why do I even have a backlog? One of the main reasons why I have a backlog is because I buy games with the intention of playing them in the future. Now, you would ask yourself, okay, if you're going to just play this game later, why not just buy this game later? And most of the time, that is the approach I take. But, give you an example here. Give me just a second. Let me run and grab it real quick. Okay, case in point. Don't know how well you can see this, but case in point. Haunting Ground for the PlayStation 2. Fantastic game. At least so I've heard. I haven't played this game. This is probably one of the longest residents of my backlog at about 5 years. Why has this game been sitting in my collection for 5 years? I bought it 5 years ago when it was cheap. I got it for under $50. If you try to go buy this game today, you're gonna spend well over $100 for this game. The last time I checked, this game was about $125 to get it complete in box, and forget about finding it new. So one of the main reasons why I buy titles like that, and I look, and you kind of get a bit of a sixth sense over time as you dive deeper and deeper into this retro game collecting thing. You take a look at titles that may become rare in the future. Another case in point. Give me just a moment. Alright, case in point. Another case in point. Tales of Vesperia on the Xbox 360. Now, you can't see it. That game is... I got that game for $8.99. This is a game that was exclusive to the Xbox 360. They got a version of it in Japan that was in Japanese on the PS3 that never came to the States. So, as far as US gamers go, this is the only version of this game that we got. Tales of Vesperia is a dope game. It's a masterpiece. I bought this game now at $8.99, played a little bit of it, so to call it a masterpiece may be a little bit pretentious, but a few years from now, this will be probably one of the first games that start to rise in price once people really start collecting for the Xbox 360 hardcore. And this is, I predicted it now, so remember this video. I bought this game for less than $10. 10 years from now, this game will be like $150 game plus. Like I said, it has all the makings to be a rare game, and it's rare enough on its own. Like I said, it's cheap, but I almost never see it. So I went ahead and snagged it up. It was actually on a GameStop buy 2 get 1 free, so I probably didn't even pay for it. I think that was the free game for it. So, case in point, I buy games, try to buy them when they're at their lowest point, and I'll buy them by the lot and things like that just to get them nice and cheap. So yes, I'm probably going to play them in the future, but when I play them in the future, I won't have to buy them in the future when games are super high prices. I wish I had done that with the 16-bit games, with the 4th generation era, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, those games. Some of them are monster prices right now, and luckily those are easy to emulate, but some of those later titles like PS1 games, Dreamcast games, Sega Saturn games, those are a little harder to come by, so there you go. Okay, so question number 2. How did so many games get into my backlog in the first place? Well, I kind of alluded to it already, and that is often when I collect, I buy games in lots, and that's a great way to get a bunch of games for cheap at a great price. Another case in point. Give me just a second. Okay, so one of the last things I collected, this is about actually like 3 months ago, found this lot on I believe Facebook Marketplace. Got me a nice Super Game Boy for the Super Nintendo. A great way to play your original Game Boy games on your television. Of course, I also have a Retron 5 as well as a GameCube Game Boy player with the CD and all that. So got a couple of different options now to play these titles on my TV. That's dope. In addition to that though, I got a lot of Sega Genesis games. I am getting into collecting for the Genesis, so busting that lot out. And you see here I have a little over a half a dozen titles, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 8 games that I got, so I got that plus these 8 games. And these 8 games, most of them aren't super fantastic so far as I know. MiG-29 Fighter Pilot, NBA All-Stars Challenge, NBA Jam Tournament Edition, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Toy Story, Mortal Kombat 3, Jurassic Park, and actually the reason why I went for this lot in the first place is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the Hyperstone Heist. You can see it's a little bit in beat up condition, but like I said, that game by itself, just card alone, goes for about $40 to $45. I got these games, this game and that Game Boy player for like $30. So again, I got this for this game. These came in the lot, so I may play these, I may not. Again, they're in the backlog. And like I said, there's 7 titles right there off of one buy that just now ended up in my backlog. That's how it happens. So the way gamers collect, especially when we go after these lots, a lot of us will sell off the duplicates, and a lot of us will sell off games we don't need or don't want, and then we use that and the cycle continues. But that's how these games build up. They buy in lots. Alright, so that brings us to the final question, question number 3. What can we do as game players and collectors? What can we do to alleviate that backlog? Well, for me, as a YouTuber, one of the ways that I am committing to alleviate my backlog is episodes just like this. Expect this to be the first part in a series, and every so often I'll take you on a journey into my video game collection. I'll pick about 5 or 10 titles or so. I'll play them, show you some gameplay, and then boom, there's another handful of games that, you know, have left my backlog. Another way that helps me alleviate my backlog is just the way that I collect, and that I'm not collecting all the time, because I mean honestly I'm not made of money. That'll be actually this recently, the last time I bought a game was about a couple of weeks ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I bought like 1 or 2 games. Before that it had been about 3 months. Like I said, when you saw my video game collection that was 8 months ago, at that time I had 650 titles. 8 months later I have 670 titles. So I bought 20 games in 8 months. So I don't collect crazy hardcore, and like I said, I don't have the money to do that. So in periods when I'm not buying games but I got the itch to play something new, I'll go take a look at the collection. Well, what's something I've never played before? And then I'll start hitting games in my backlog and doing it that way. So that is one of the ways, that's another way that helps me alleviate the growing population of my backlog. So I still feel like at this point I'm playing games faster than I'm buying them, which is good, because eventually I'll get a hold of my backlog. At least we hope, right? That's every gamer's dream, is, I think, is a secret goal of ours to play every game in our collection. Most of us never get the chance to, and I feel for, you know, guys who collect complete sets of games and things like that, because I mean, some guys like that, they'll never play all those games. It's kind of, when you think about that, that raises my anxiety when I think of that. So, like, oh my god, like, I'm not going to live long enough to play all my games. So, like I said, I try to play everything, and like I said, that's really how I alleviate that problem. So, like I said, I encourage you guys to try that if you're having that same trouble. Just stop collecting for a while, and if you get an itch to play something new, just play something new that you've never played before. And like I said, it works for me. Alright, ladies and gents, so in the spirit of tackling my backlog, I am going to start off by showing you 5 titles in my backlog, just 5 games I grabbed from random. So without further ado, let's look into it real quick. These aren't going to be full reviews. I might show you 30 seconds of gameplay in each game. I just want to burn through these, 1, so I can get this video out, and 2, so like I said, I can really start checking off games in my backlog and introducing them to the general population. So, number 1. this guy right here, don't know if you can see that, that's Banjo Pilot on the Game Boy Advance. And so Banjo Pilot is actually, it's a neat little game. I was not expecting the game that I got at all. It's basically a Mario Kart clone, so it's definitely a game I'll have to put up against Super Circuit on the same system. Fun game. You get a cast of characters from the Banjo-Kazooie games. Game looks great. The Mode 7 is working excellent. It's nice and colorful. The power-ups seem to be pretty cool. All in all, I don't think it's quite as good as Mario Kart, but it's a nice little distraction. Next up, going to the Dreamcast here, and like I said, I'm getting into my Dreamcast more and more. This here, Zombie Revenge on the Dreamcast, this game is actually pretty freaking dope. This game is a beat 'em up game and a zombie killing fest. I'll show you some of the gameplay, and like I said, it's a nice arcade style that's two-player co-op, so definitely, then this is actually one of the Dreamcast games that haven't shot up super crazy prices yet, so if you see this one, definitely grab it. I like it a lot. Next, a newer game I had to give some love to my PS4, and that is Raiden 5, the Director's Cut. This is another title that I think is going to be one of those expensive games later on down the line. It's 15 bucks now, and you should buy it. I'll show you some of the gameplay. There you go. Alright, moving on to the original Xbox now, and I've got Quantum Redshift. This is a game I bought, I don't know, a year or two ago. Been sitting in my collection. I got it for $2.99, so it was okay to sit there. This is a futuristic racing game that plays very much like Wipeout, and in fact, it's very much a Wipeout game. It's a beautiful game, but man, is it tough as balls. And I have yet to win a race on it, but I'm getting the hang of it. This is one that I think I'm gonna be playing it for a while because it's quite fun. So there's number 4. Okay, and last but not least, let's take a look at it. This is an absurd little run and gun shooter for the PS2, and this is Alien Hominid. It started out as a Flash game on that site Newgrounds, and so it started out there years and years ago. They came out with a PS2 version. There is I believe an Xbox version that was very limitedly released in Power Regions, as well as you can get this on the Game Boy Advance. You can get this in a number of places. I believe it's on the PSN store and the Xbox Arcade. You can get that downloaded digitally in HD. But I mean, it's a great game. It's very comical and cute little graphics, but it's also very bloody at the same time and violent, the way you literally cut Men in Black in half, and you're an alien who's crashed on a planet, and I believe he's out to fix his ship. So like I said, this is a tough run and gun, but it's a lot of fun, very aesthetically pleasing, and one that I wish I had played a long time ago. So alright gang, so that's gonna do it for me, but just lay it down in the comments. Let's talk about backlog games. What's the longest game you've had in your backlog? What's some titles that seems like everybody but you has played that's still in your backlog? Like I said, just let us know. We'll talk about it in the comments. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. If you're feeling sexy, I do believe that's all I got for you. Lightsaber Samurai out. Peace.